Yo, this hot, this the spot, there it is pod.com. We're interviewing the best comedians, so tune in quick and get your ears receiving them. We talking about life and life to stream right to you, from the microphone right to your home, dude. Side note, this might get embarrassing, but no, don't sweat, yo, cause there it is.
Welcome to the There It Is podcast, a comedy podcast to help you find your inspiration. I'm your host, Jason Farr. Let's do this. Thanks so much for joining us. We have a great episode today. It is with New York comedian Matt Levy, and we have a great chat. We nerd out on comedy, including some talk about Andy Kaufman. But also at the end of the conversation, I drop a little news that's coming to the podcast later this year. So you'll have to stick around to hear all about that. Matt and I talk about his comedy, including making short films like Just Jokes, which is coming soon. And we start this chat talking about his 3-year-old. Let's get right to it. Here's my chat with Matt Levy.
She's got thoughts.
Yeah, 3's a fun age, I imagine. They say terrible 2s, but then I've heard people say like 3's even worse. But you do comedy. Your wife, does she do comedy or is she a performer? I know she's in Just Jokes.
My wife is in all of my shorts. She's an actress. And we have like this system where if I'm going to write / direct a movie, which I try to do once a year, and I've done since we had my daughter, it's like, you can do that, but you got to cast me. And I'm like, cool, I can do that. She's really talented. She's the easiest actor I've ever had to work with. She gives me like 15 takes on everything, different interpretation each time. So yeah,
great.
she starred in my 2025 movie, or excuse me, my 2024 movie, which was called The Michael C. Jordan Theory. She starred in my 2023 movie, which is called We Regret to Inform You. And then she was cut out of my 2022 movie when she was 9 months pregnant. I put her in like a post-credit scene and I cut that out.
Oh, wow. Did she ever forgive you?
Not really. It's my fault.
Yeah, you can put it back in. You have the power.
I do have the power. You know what? I should put that back in.
So I imagine, though, with both of you being in entertainment, that your kid would also be interesting and funny, and that you would be open to it, as opposed to what many parents of comedians or future comedians do, is like try to stamp down that interesting stuff.
I gotta say, literally last night was crazy. We live in a 4-story apartment complex.
Okay.
And last night was like a movie. That I'll give you the long and short of it. Basically, we got a call from our neighbor who said, "Can you babysit? Our babysitter's leaving and I'm driving Uber right now. Do you mind watching my daughter?" And my wife, who's a saint, was like, "Yeah, I'll help out." And, the kid is just all over the place and acting crazy. And we were like, this is a really easy movie to make. Like, this is just like one location. You have to be there for who knows how long because she's finishing her fairs. And then we were like, this is also the perfect opportunity to cast our daughter in something. This was my wife's idea. She was like, finally, this is a role where she doesn't have to actually like pay attention or take direction. In fact, the movie would be better the more chaotic she is and does whatever she wants. So we were like, this might be the next one.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, a little two-hander starring mom and daughter.
Well, that's great. I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if she even takes any direction at all.
Right. So you are from Arizona. What I don't know is when you started doing comedy. What I pick up on from what I know of you, it's you, like me, are a comedy nerd. So I imagine your whole life you've been really into comedy well before you started doing it. But when did you start doing it? Was it before college, during college, or after college?
Well, just want to say on the record, I am a huge fan of the There It Is newsletter and Jason's podcast. This has become a part of my comedy consumption diet.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, you make being a nerd easier because you just have a resource and you've done the work for people. So I want to thank you for what
Well,
you do.
thanks. Yeah, I was just thinking like, do I need to alter the newsletter a little bit to be more
Let's
comedy
talk.
nerd centric?
Let's talk about it. I'm your demo, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
What's the idea? What do you want?
well, I'm thinking like obviously keeping the comedy tip, and I still want to have like a health tip and the balancing life tip because I think those are things that
I like
comedians
that.
can use. Like that's the whole reason I started it was because I was like, okay, getting some edification about comedy. Obviously, comedy people would be into it, but I'd just been around enough comedians in their personal lives where I was like, they kind of they're not healthy, you know. Like they
Yeah.
why are they throwing this party like this? Like there are rules. Like you can just like have a party and just have your bath towel up for people to wash their hands on, and you've used the bath towel. Like just stuff like that where I'm like, here's some just basics that I think maybe some comedians need to know. But it's the like suggestion section where
Okay.
sometimes there's like maybe one comedy thing, but the other two things are just a little random. And I wonder if people like those, like the suggestions.
So the top is news, then you have the health tips and comedy tips, and then the suggestions at the bottom, which are like,
Yeah.
and then that's before like the festival
Right.
submissions.
Yeah.
Let's look at the most recent one. Let's talk.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I've got you pulled up already. Punchline writing trick? No.
How to improve your messaging was the
Wow.
one from Monday.
Okay, well, that's actually perfect for this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. That may be part of why I was
Here
like,
we go.
huh.
You were like, I have to improve my messaging. A suggestion of anything at all. Well, I loved that you're linking to, Zinnemann. I'm assuming, is that Zinnemann?
The improv
Why you
class
should
one?
take an improv.
Yeah, that was
No, that's Nikolaya Rips.
yeah.
Okay, I think that's cool because that kind of is like you're tapped in to what's going on, and a lot of people might be missing that.
Hmm.
And you found like a legitimate source that did some legit research
Hmm.
about improv, and then you're sharing it with people as opposed to like, here's something that's like self-promoting. Like I think that's
Right.
actually really cool. And
That's
then
true. I never promote my shows, which maybe I should do.
you absolutely should, man. A
Yeah,
hundred
I'd
percent. That
never
should be
say
at the
like I got the
top.
show. Yeah, I need to do that. Yeah. I'll try to dabble with that this week.
I know you're at the Magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah, people need to know if they're reading this for sure.
Okay.
You
I
should
didn't know
have
if it
like
was
a,
too self-indulgent to do that, but it's common, so it's not
they're already
bad.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, man, you should have a There It Is meetup. Like you should meet all your readers. Like
I'm
a There It Is jam or something.
well, one thing that I'm currently planning on doing, and you got to come. It's There It Is
Sure.
live taping.
Oh, cool.
I'm
That
planning it for June.
okay.
It'll be the 10th anniversary special episode. I basically just need to start asking people to do it. I just need to get a couple people in and then figure out the recording of it. But otherwise, that's the plan right now. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I have to do it.
Will the show be a jam or will the show
No,
be
it'll be like just my thought right now is I would just talk to I want to ask a couple of former guests to come back on. We do like
okay.
a panel discussion. Brother of the show, Trey's going to be in town. Wife of the show, obviously, going to be here. So I'll
Hopefully many
have them
friends of
on.
the show. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But
I love that.
I'd like to see it work out.
So back to the newsletter,
Hmm.
the Keep It Going for. I love that as well. As someone who's super tapped in, I didn't know about the Just Shoot Me downfall.
Yeah.
I didn't I didn't find that online.
I
And
didn't know
then
about it until I saw that piece, and I was like, "Wait, what?" I thought
and
it
then
just ended.
yeah, shows just end. And then I wasn't familiar with this McSweeney's. Oh, this is from 10 years ago. I might have read
Yeah,
this 10
it
years
is
ago.
old. Yeah, and so like, I
Still a good find.
yeah, I have like a bookmark of a bunch of stuff. So I was like, this one might be old, but I think it's interesting.
You know what? The one thing you should do though, as a reader,
Hmm.
that one is paywalled. So just a little paywall. Just be like, by the way, this is Vulture. And if you don't have an account,
Oh
you're gonna
yeah.
have
So
to,
like mention that it's paywalled.
yeah, just
Hmm.
like in the parentheses, just be like paywall.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Just
Yeah,
just
yeah,
so
yeah.
people know.
You
Because
know,
like I'm excited to read that, and then I'm like, oh man, I gotta
that's a
do a
good
7 day
point.
trial. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the most annoying thing ever.
Or it's like, and is does Vultures have one that's like, is it Vultures where you get like one article a month? I used to be a little bit more mindful of.
There's zero.
Okay, because
And the Times used to be like 11. I had a joke in my stand-up about how the Times was so confident you'd like their stuff. They'll be like, you can read 11 stories, but we know you want at least 12.
there've been times where I was like, okay, this one is a thing where you need to like be a subscriber, but they give you one a month. So
Hmm.
I would be like, I'm only going to use something from this place, from this website once a month in the newsletter. But I have
Right.
gotten away from that. So it is a good point to be like, this is paywalled. Okay.
Yeah, just most of the internet is paywalled now, which
Yeah.
is annoying.
Yeah. I think it's like Vulture and maybe like one other, like New York Times is paywalled too, I think.
Hmm.
And so I think those are the two main ones that like I should mention that for, because those are the ones that I end up using more often than that.
Yeah, the Times does occasionally like gift you an article, which
Yeah.
is rare, but I read their newsletter as well on a daily basis. They have like an evening newsletter, and if you like get a trivia question right,
Uh-huh.
they'll let you read the story,
Oh.
and I'll just eat up the slop. Give me the story. I want to
So
read 9 paragraphs of copy someone wrote while drinking a latte in the office.
So but where did your comedy start? Like your comedy fandom very early, like I
Yeah,
said. But when did
I
you
want to
actually
say.
start getting into it and doing it?
Well, as a ninth grader is kind of when I really dove in. I want to
Uh-huh.
say, okay, so in fifth grade, I was the class clown, like undisputed. Like people was like, this guy is the merry prankster of Madison Meadows Middle School. But then by seventh grade, this kid in my class said, you're washed up. He said, you're not funny anymore. This guy, I won't name him, but I really took that to heart because I knew he was right. I wasn't funny like I was in fifth grade.
Wow,
Like
that's crazy.
I was the funniest fifth grader ever, man. I was so good. I
What changed?
I I don't know. I actually had this thing where fifth grade, because I went from elementary to middle school, and
Hmm.
then freshman year of high school, and then freshman year of college, I was like, I peaked in the first year of all three, and I was my
Wow.
funniest. And then I kind of like shelled, but like I went like full on extrovert and then kind of regressed, and then full on extrovert and
Wow.
regressed 3 times. But man,
Yeah.
those 3 years were all the best years of each school, which is strange. I'd love to talk to a therapist about that.
And
I don't know
the
why that
part that I
happened.
can assume is that like the change of scenery and being at a new school gives you the sense of, oh, I can reinvent myself, or this
Yeah,
is a new crowd to perform in front of. I can do, let
right.
me,
All the
and so it's like a
material's
new
fresh.
thing for everyone,
Yeah.
right? But then when you're
That's a good
there
point.
longer, it's like, oh, I gotta find a new angle with this group.
And I never did. And then I
Yeah.
just repeated the material, bringing the fifth grade stuff back. Um, so in ninth grade, though, I tried out for an improv team that I want to say was called the Jesters,
Mhm.
and
In ninth grade.
I was shocked. I got on, yeah.
Wow.
And one of the guys from the troupe is a working actor now. He's really good. His name's Mark Jacobson. He was in, did you see that Kumail show where he's the Chippendales founder?
Yeah.
Welcome to Chippendales. He's, I want to say like the fifth or sixth lead in that.
Okay.
He's
The
good.
name sounds familiar,
He
actually.
was
So
like the guy in the group. So there was him. Then I recruited some people from my high school to join as well when the group got kind of slim. It was a lot of fun. And
that's
I was like,
awesome.
wow, I'm part of this team that's like I want to say like seniors, and I was like the young guy. Felt so cool. And then I was
In
also in speech.
Arizona.
Yeah, and I was in speech and debate, which was really like a comedy breeding ground. I don't know. Did you do speech?
I took a speech class. It was
But
called
not
a
like the
speech and debate.
competitions.
We didn't do competitions, but it was
Gotcha.
a speech and debate class, but it was like, I don't know. It was taught by an English teacher, so it was more like, I think,
Right.
English, like
Gotcha.
basic, like how to communicate more than it was anything else.
Sure. So speech was like an opportunity to do. I did a speech my freshman year on child stars,
Yeah.
and I do like silly voices like I did. I never really watched Welcome Back, Cotter, but I would do Horseshack. Like, I don't even remember what I said, like teacher, teacher, or something like that. And no one got the reference, but it would get laughs. And then sophomore year, I did basically a recreation of Man on the Moon. I essentially just repurposed the movie for an expository speech. And I'm assuming you've seen Man on the Moon, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh
One of my all-time
comedy nerd.
favorites. Yes.
Yeah.
I think maybe the best comedy movie, like inside baseball comedy movie ever.
Probably. I mean, Jim Carrey is so good in that movie.
Yes.
And people will say, like, I've started seeing people like misrepresent the behind the scenes documentary as like, oh, Jim Carrey was being a menace on set. And it's like, he was literally being Andy Kaufman.
Who was a menace.
He was a menace on set, but it's like he's
Yes.
playing Andy Kaufman, so he was just being Andy Kaufman. And like people like Danny DeVito were like, it was like hanging out with Andy Kaufman.
I
It was
love that.
literally like it. When that movie came out, I was deep in an Andy Kaufman like headspace. Like because I liked him when I was a little kid, and saw him a couple times after 1990 for whatever reason, and then like read a couple of books about him, and then the movie comes out, and I was like living it up in Andy Kaufman. It was a very Andy Kaufman era, but you took that movie and sort of repurposed it as a speech.
I literally did the bit where I pretended to be Latka or the foreign man character, and no one knew who I was. So I'd go to the rounds and I'd go, "Hello, my name is Matt from Central High School." And I would sit there in the back, far away. I like went full method, just like Jim.
Wow.
And then I'd go up and I'd do a much worse Elvis impression. Mine was far worse than Andy's, whose was better than Jim's, and just the quality degraded. That was my thing. But I recently found out that my film school teacher directed a pilot with Tony Clifton, who was Bob Smuda, where he played Judge Tony, and it's very off color. It's exactly what you expect, but I laughed so hard, and it was really ahead of the curve because it
Yeah.
was kind of basically like jury duty, but which is like I think a
Yeah.
poor imitation of Joe Schmo show.
Oh.
Do you remember the Joe Schmo show?
I never watched it.
It's so much better than jury, and people are like, jury
Really?
duty is
We
hilarious.
love jury duty.
I like jury duty. Try and find Joe Schmo because it has pre
Okay.
SNL Kristen Wiig, and it's
Okay.
the characters that are not the person being pranked are
Uh-huh.
like freaking out behind the scenes. You don't see them staying in character. They're like actually like he's on to
Mm.
us, and you watch them strategize, and they're
That is
just
interesting. That does sound
better
interesting.
improvisers. I don't know. For jury duty, I just felt like there's
Did you
something
see
so
Company
false about this.
Retreat?
I watched the first episode, I don't want to say pilot, with my in-laws who are big fans. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is fun. They're cute. But one of my friends texted me, he's like, dude, I legit cried in the finale.
Me
And
too.
so I was like, fuck,
That dude
maybe
is
these
so
guys.
nice. That dude is
Yeah.
so sweet, and friend of the podcast, Erica Hernandez, is in it. So yeah,
Okay,
she
so
plays Kate, I think was her character name.
And I'm
It
a big
was
fan
so
of
hard
Rachel
to remember
Cayley.
her. Yeah, you're a big fan of who?
Well, Rachel Cayley is a New York comic as well. The
Oh,
IT, yeah,
okay, yeah.
the girl who
Oh,
works remotely. Yeah.
she was
She's
very
so
funny.
funny. Yeah.
She was very
So
crazy in it.
I can't talk too much smack because I saw one episode, but I did see all of Jury Duty.
I get that. No, they went, I think, further with characters being crazy in the first season, where it's like, how does someone not know?
Right.
like, like they were some of the characters in the first season were funny, but it was like this is he has to be picking up on this. So it's funny that he never did.
Sure.
That guy was also super nice.
That's the thing. You got to take advantage of people pleasers. That's what these shows do.
I
Gullible
guess they
people.
do, yeah.
Not even that they're like gullible. It's more like they just want to be kind to everyone. It's
Yeah.
like taking advantage of the kindness of
Yeah.
strangers.
Yeah.
Like a jerk would not do well on the show, but you know who would actually be pretty good on a company retreat?
Who's that?
You.
Oh.
I feel like you're a nice guy that would just be like, these people are unusual, but you know, it's a job is a job.
You know, my thought when I watched Company Retreat was, and I think even I may have recognized someone in the first season, but obviously I know who Erica is. Like I had met her. So if they had like, if I had been out in LA and was like, yeah, I need a job. As soon as I see Erica, I'd be like,
Right.
oh, hey, Erica. And then like they have like a couple of other familiar improvisers. And I'm like, yeah, that's Ian Roberts. I was like, watching, I was like, that's Ian Roberts.
Yeah, you would actually be horrible on the show.
I would.
because you know
They wouldn't be
all
able
the
to trick me
improvisers.
because I know too
Yeah.
many people.
Like, I'm actually a big fan, sir.
but thank you. You're essentially saying I'm nice, so I appreciate that.
Yes, but you make a great point. Anyway, in addition to improv and speech and debate, I did do stand up when
Yeah.
I started freshman year of high school as well. And I took a class in a community college on Saturday mornings, and there was like a graduation show. I was pretty bad. And then my dad the next year said, I'm going to take a class with you. So I
Okay.
spent a year doing classes with my dad on Sunday mornings, and there'd be like monthly showcases. And we would just cry laughing at our classmates' jokes because like they were all so amateur. And then we'd watch people repeat jokes over and over at these shows, and we'd like kind of make fun a little bit. Little jerkish, but still like some of the hardest times I've ever laughed.
Yeah.
And I actually looked up the teacher yesterday because my dad said, "Is she still around?" And there's a clip of her online. So there is that. Her name is Deanne Kincaid.
I thought it was
Uh,
gonna go a dark way. I thought it was gonna be like I looked her
no.
up and she actually was arrested for killing children.
Well, I think the club owner was
Oh,
arrested for something bad.
I'm certain.
So you're not a
In this
million
world
miles
we're
away.
in, of course. Yeah.
Honestly, man. So I also worked at the Tempe Improv for a while. You're familiar with what happened there?
Did I
The,
read? Was that a recent thing?
no, I actually
Okay,
kind
then I
of.
don't know. There was
I think I
something
might
I
have helped break this story a couple years ago, actually,
no.
because
So I don't know unless I've forgotten. Maybe I'd heard and forgot. There was something more recent that I was hearing about a club. But what happened in Tempe?
there is in Bisbee, Arizona, is what you
Mm.
thought are thinking of.
Okay.
In Tempe, Arizona, the manager, I believe his name was Mark. Now I feel bad because I'm that guy on the podcast who forgets a name, but he went missing. He
Ooh.
disappeared. So there was a little bit of, since I'm no longer in stand-up at all, I can kind of speak a little freely. Because when you're in the stand-up world, you can't speak freely at all. You're just constantly like, "Ugh, they're gonna hear and I'll never get booked. I'll never be a feature. I'll never do the check spot."
That is kind of the thing, right? Like
Yeah,
people worry.
it's kind of nice not caring.
Yeah.
But Mark was like a really nice guy.
Mhm.
And before he went missing, I'm not going to spill too many of the details because it's not really my place and some of it's conjecture, but Stand Up Live which is a chain like Improvs,
Hmm.
I believe acquired, or no, they hadn't acquired yet. So Stand Up Live comes to downtown Phoenix, and I don't know how familiar you are with Arizona geography, but that's
Not
like
very.
20 minutes away from Tempe.
Okay.
So they literally built a second ASU campus in downtown Phoenix. So there's
Wow.
this downtown campus, and then there's a major main Tempe campus. Not that important for you to know all that, but little context.
Uh-huh.
Essentially, Stand Up Live would book a lot of the A-list headliners
Yeah, so
that,
they were pulling a lot of people to them.
yeah, I mean, if there's a monopoly, I guess there's nothing better than having two clubs, although fewer
Sure.
audience members, because Tempe Improv, when I worked there, was a big showroom. Like literally, I want to say a 500 seater, and there'd be like lines around the block.
Oh, wow.
And I was a food runner and a doorman,
Hmm.
and you know, just getting people in was hard. Like, because you'd have a
Oh,
7
yeah.
and a 9:30 because there'd be like rowdy crowds and everyone needed a wristband and every needed to see everyone's ID, and people were drinking because it's Saturday night and they're like, I'm
Hmm.
gonna go see Kevin Nealon, and that's not his energy at all. Kind of like that. Like
Yeah.
it's was a wild job, one of the most fun jobs I've ever had. But anyway, Mark went missing shortly after this, and
Hmm.
then you know what? If you're really interested and you've listened this far in the podcast, look it up, Mark Tempe Improv.
Okay.
It's a sad story and it's not
Yeah.
really like
Well,
fun.
I'm watching a docu-series about it's called The Octopus Murders or something. It's something like that. American
Okay.
Conspiracy. So I'm in a headspace for sad things, sad,
All
dark
right.
things. I'm in episode 3 right now. No,
See, I did stand up
yeah,
with my
you did.
dad.
Right. Oh, that's fun. That's awesome,
Yeah,
though.
as I say, father-son
And,
bombing experience.
and you mentioning doing comedy bits with speech and debate,
Yeah.
I have a similar experience with that because when when I was in my speech class in high school, it was my senior year, I think,
And where'd you grow up?
South Carolina.
Okay.
And I think it was my senior year, it might have been my junior year. And why do I not remember that? Seems like something I should remember. I think it was my senior year. Doesn't matter. I was in a class, a speech class, and I remember, I think where something sort of clicked for me was at some point during the class, I started just winging it. Because there was one time where I had written this thing and I just wasn't so sure about it. And then like in like first period or second period that morning, I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do because some other story, something came to mind, and I was like, that's interesting. I'm gonna talk about that instead of the thing I wrote. And just did it, and it went over really well. And I was
Nice.
like, I'm just gonna do that from now on. I would just like never write. I would never write for the class. And
Sure.
I would just wing it. I would either I usually knew what I was going to talk about before the class. But
Right.
there was one time where I was like, no idea.
Dude, that's awesome.
I think I'm just gonna do this. I just like started winging it. So that was like really when I first started performing
That's
because
amazing.
I was taking that sort of energy to it of like, let me just figure out the crowd and just try to work it.
You were a crowd work comic in high school, man. Speech and debate actually does have a category, I guess,
Hmm.
called impromptu,
Yeah,
where
where
you're
people just
gi-
go like, where do you work? I'm just kidding. What do you do for a
close. I
living?
think you're given like three choices, and you choose one that you have to speak on for 5 minutes, and you
Oh,
get 2 minutes of
wow.
prep. So everyone sits in a room silently for 2 minutes, waiting for you, to scribble an outline, and then you just go up and hope for the best. Some people were amazing, and then occasionally, you just see like the worst thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, I bet.
But there's also extemp where you're given 30 minutes to write like a political speech about current events. I never did that one. That just seemed like no fun.
Yeah, that doesn't
Yeah.
seem. So I know you at one point worked at the Onion.
Yeah, wow. Oh, dude, you did some homework.
Yeah, try.
That because my name is very general. That must have been difficult.
It's I have my tricks of the trade. But yeah, how was that experience working there?
That was the coolest
I bet.
unpaid internship of all time. Summer 2010, I remember Cinco de Mayo. I came out for an interview from Phoenix. I was like, I'm not going to do a phoner. I'm flying out for an interview. I stayed with my uncle overnight in Montclair, New Jersey. And then we went, or excuse me, I went into the city super early. I ran into Judd Apatow at Rite Aid.
Oh
I
wow.
said, no way. And he's like, yeah, man, what's up? And I
Yeah, it
was
seems
like,
like he'd probably be the chillest dude to meet at Rite Aid.
yeah, I was like, dude, I'm in Funny People. I'm an extra in Funny People. He's like, oh, okay. I was in one of the crowd shots. I flew out for that too. I was like, I
Oh
gotta be
wow.
in this movie. I saw like a casting call. I was like, I have to be in Funny People. Then I go to the interview and seemingly went well. And I got called back and I want to say a footage or forget exactly what my role was, but I found a lot of photos. So for every piece, there's a ton of assets, photo assets to make sure you get the Photoshop just right. So
Hmm.
I wouldn't even be given the copy. I think I'd just be given like an assignment where they'd say, okay, you need to find a biker that looks like he's qualified for the Tour de France, but
Hmm.
has an American face, and we need a mountainside. We need like all these assets and just find like 10 options on Getty and
Wow.
do your best and send us all the folders. So I just did that every day for a
Yeah.
summer. And then I
Yeah.
worked at City Cinemas at night. But honestly, working at the Onion was so fun. I don't know, are you familiar with Baratunde Thurston?
No. Oh
He's an
wait.
author.
I think I have. I just maybe didn't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, continue.
He's known for writing a book called How to Be Black, and he's phenomenal. He was like, this was the height of Foursquare, if you remember that app. I think
Okay.
probably still around, but he was like he was called himself the mayor of Foursquare, so he would take all the interns out to a very nice lunch,
Hmm.
one on one, which just seemed unreal to me that I'd just like get to talk to him for an hour,
Uh-huh.
and we're in Soho and we're just like gabbing for an hour. That was one of the high points of the internship. But I was telling a
Awesome.
coworker recently, there's this guy in comedy that you should totally have on this pod that has one of the unsung heroes of The Onion that no one talks about. His name is Joe Garden. He is one of the funniest human beings alive. He would go around the office in Heelys every day and give all the interns high fives and was just like exactly what you imagine. You know how like you move to New York or you like try comedy and you know it's like not what you expected, but then
Mhm.
occasionally you'll have a set and you'll be like, that's what it feels like. Or you'll be in New York and you'll be like invited to a midnight party and like this happened to me. Kyle Mooney was there and Beck Bennett was there right before they got on SNL.
Oh
And I was like,
wow.
this is it. This
Mm.
is New York. Joe Garden was what I thought The Onion would be. Like the silliness, smart, you know, compassionate. And I was like, this is why The Onion is as good as The Onion is
Hmm.
because of people like this who know that this job is ridiculous and can be fun and not just like I need those pictures on my desk by 3 or else the pooping in the pants story won't work and won't go to print. So that was really cool. I also have my claim to fame. I think probably my greatest comedy credit is my picture is in an Onion story, which I don't know if you track that down.
I had
Um,
no, I did not. I did
just
not see
search
that.
Nation Soccer Fan Onion, and you will see my 22-year-old face. And they listed that I was 32, which was kind of insulting. It's I forget exactly the head, but it was like Nation Soccer Fan becoming insufferable again or something because the World Cup was.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
Nation
that's
soccer fan becoming insufferable. Yeah.
that me.
Yeah.
But the another cool thing is most of the people that I work with, and I will name their names, ended up becoming quite successful. One of the most notable is Django Gold, who's a well-known New York comedy stand-up now. Good friend of mine, very, very funny. He was hysterical then. He wrote for Colbert for a long time.
Oh, great.
Morgan Evans just
Hmm.
directed and wrote. Did you see Micro Budget?
I haven't seen Micro Budget. I've heard of Micro Budget.
It's on Tubi now
Hmm.
and blew me away. He made one of the funniest mockumentaries I think I've ever seen. The cast is insane. It's basically, I'm assuming this will hit hard for you, like watching an ass cat in 2010.
Oh,
Like he
wow.
has that cast. It's like the
Okay.
most UCB sensibility, but marrying that with cinema and not in a way where it just feels like silly. Like there's heightens and stakes that are necessary for any grounded three-act film, but also like the improv is on point. Like Bobby Moynihan's in the movie, Chris
Moynihan's one
Parnell's
of
in
the
the
greats.
movie, Maria Bamford's in the movie, but like also John Gabris has a big role.
Oh,
Neil Casey has a big role.
wow. Dang.
Like this guy, like Morgan was around UCB at the best time. Like when
Yeah.
when the shows were like, oh my God, the Del Close marathons were like, you can't miss this.
Yeah.
So
That was
Morgan,
probably a high time to be in New York to see like all those
2010
great
ruled.
people. I mean,
Yeah.
goodness.
And then Jocelyn Richard worked there as well. She is a prominent writer. She's like done everything. Lindsay Edelman, who's like high up at Netflix now.
Hmm.
Like I am by far the least accomplished of the interns. It was just so many. Oh, Brandon Scott Wolf, not Brandon Scott Jones, the improviser. There's another Brandon Scott.
And then
Um,
there's a Scott Wolf, but
yeah,
not
there's
him either.
no, different guy. Brandon Scott Wolf's very funny stand up as well. Just I was like in awe of this group of people. Tope
Yeah.
Atabanjo, he was really funny.
And
There's a bunch of like the class was good. I was like very impressed with the
that's
group of
awesome.
people that I worked with. Yeah. So could not have asked for a better internship. I went in 5 days a week. It was required to go in two. I was like, I want to
Wow.
be
No,
here
that was
every day,
smart.
unpaid. Didn't pay off in any way, but
Well, I
it
think
was
there's
cool.
something you learned and picked up on, I'm sure, going those 3 extra days.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't say for certain. I think he was there too. But what I did tap in on was just like this is really just like a group of friends, and that's most important, like hanging more so than like being competitive.
Yeah, it
Um,
comes out easier when you're writing with someone who is just having fun with you.
yeah. So I want to say the last name drop. I don't think Todd Hanson was there at the time, but Will Tracy, who wrote Begonia and The Menu and
Wow.
Succession and Mountainhead. Like, I'm pretty sure he was writing there at the
Wow.
time as well. And then
That's
I want to
wild.
say I just missed what's her name, Meg, who wrote on Community and Rick and Morty. I had just missed her as
I'm wanting to
well.
say the wrong last name, so I won't start throwing stuff out there, but
That's okay. But like, yeah, the amount of funny people in that room
everyone.
was like insane. And I was by far the least funny and just trying to soak all their energy in as best I could. It was a dream come true. And I was like, this is the stepping stone. And didn't nothing, it never really got better than that. Once again, I peaked early, but it was fun to be there. I can't stress that enough.
Was it Megan Gans?
Yes, Megan Gans.
Yeah.
She's such a good writer. And she writes on It's Always Sunny now.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know she was at Always Sunny.
Yeah, I think she's been there for a long time. And I believe she was one of the creators of Mythic Quest.
Mythic Quest. Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She was.
No, she's fantastic too.
Uh,
Like that was could not have been a cooler, better experience. And also there's a Cuban restaurant like next door that I ate at every day that was I still say like best food in New York in
nice.
Soho. Cafe Habana with a B, not a V. That place rules so hard.
You mentioned earlier short films, but
Yeah.
you do have a new one coming out
Oh man, you
soon.
were good at this. Jason, the segues.
uh,
Smooth. You're seasoned with the 470 plus episodes. I feel it. There's a seasoned quality to you.
well, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, man.
But Just Jokes, it's coming out soon. I got to watch it.
Yeah.
You gave me a link to see it early. Great stuff. You know, there's an energy about it that reminds me of, like, you know, in the like late 90s, that sort of people just taking the reins and just saying, like, I've got my idea and I'm just going to get it out there, if even if they didn't have a big budget, like Party Girl or Swingers or Clerks or something like that sort of era of film. It has this energy like that of, like, I have this idea and I just want to put it out there, and it's there. It's in this short film. And that feeling is good. And I sort of missed projects like that, and I really dig those sort of things when it doesn't feel too produced, you know, and it's like, we've got talented people here, we can make this, and here's my idea, and then you make it. That's what it feels like, and I really
Oh,
appreciated that about it.
dude, thank you so much for putting me in the same conversation as Party Girl. I love that movie so much. That is like Parker Posey's
Parker Posey,
peak.
man, yeah.
But yeah, I this is exactly how you described. I had a roast that went weird. I thought it went well, but then I later met the person again that I had roasted
Hmm.
and felt like an extraordinary amount of guilt. I don't know. Have you done a roast battle?
Yeah, but at my old improv theater, and so
Sure.
it has an improv theater vibe because we're all friends, you know. So there
Even
weren't.
even still, that could be worse, possibly, if you say the wrong thing. But
That's
yes.
true, because there maybe were a couple of times where, like, someone who doesn't do comedy was asked to join in, and they just were like a little too harsh or mean or something like that. And
Yeah.
one guy was like way harsh, and he knew us all, but it was like, what is going on? But he actually was not mean to me though, so I didn't have any beef with him. But there was one guy where maybe there was like a, who does this guy think he is? He doesn't do comedy, and he's
Yeah.
putting down my comedy.
Yup.
Like, who
Dude,
is
it's a forum to be as mean as possible.
it is, yeah. But for us, it was mostly just like jokes. It was just like silly bits and jokes. And
Just
I
jokes, man.
forget. Yeah, just jokes. So you felt guilty about the jokes you made?
Yes. This was in like 2016,
Wow.
and I just didn't, the whole thing didn't sit right because I want to say I did 32 roasts,
Mm-hmm.
and probably four or five felt bad.
Wow.
Like where I left and I was like, "Ugh."
That
Either I
sounds like the
bombed,
experience
but
people had with the Chevy Chase roast.
yes, oh, for
Like, I don't
sure.
know any comics who walked away from that being like, that was a great night. Like, Stephen
No.
Colbert talked about how like
Oh yeah.
not nice Chevy Chase was backstage. Like, there was just a bad energy. It almost made Mark Maron quit comedy.
I know. We would have never gotten WTF.
Yeah.
But that was kind of what I felt that after running into this person again, and I was like, winning sometimes is worse than
Mm.
losing because not only there's a line I cut from the movie because we ADR'd it in and it sounded really bad and also felt preachy. And if
Mm.
anything ever feels preachy, I'm like, I gotta cut it, even if
Yeah.
it's like a point I'm trying to make, because you feel it in the theater with other people. You're just like, "Ugh, preach. This is not a sermon. This is people don't talk like that." But the line was something like, "The room was 95% guys. Of course you were gonna win," which is, for
Mm.
context, the movie is about a guy who wins a roast, spoiler alert, against a woman who was
Mhm.
much funnier than him
Mhm.
because he had two good jokes at the end. And he was bombing before that, and she was funny consistently throughout. There's a lot of other little small details, but that's the crux of the film. So she says, and I cut, "You only won because the room was 95% guys," which is true.
Mhm.
But there is this thing like, if you win, there's this like validation, and even if you lose, you feel horrible. You kind of washes away how well you did.
Mhm.
So the whole thing becomes irrelevant. And I mean, like I said, I did 32. That seems like a lot, but
That
the
is a
guy,
lot. Yeah, and
the
I
guy
never
who
did
plays,
battles like that too, I guess. We did like panel roasts. So that's
okay,
also a different energy. Cause like a battle roast, it is just like one. to against the other, and one
Yes.
wins. Yeah, so that I don't have an experience with, but
The
I guess
sitting
the
with the
can't
winning is weird
sitting with the winning would be
because you have to stay for the rest of the show. And usually if you're doing stand up and you bomb and you just sit there, it's like
yeah,
whatever. But
that we're used to. Yeah.
you're sitting with the person that you beat
Mm-hmm.
who's like glancing at you like you ruined my night. Like,
Oof.
yeah, I mean someone has to win. They don't
Yeah.
want to tie. They don't want to tie. And the guy who's plays the host has been doing this for over a decade now. Matt Marin, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he'd be a great interview subject as well. But, he says every show, no pity claps. Like he only wants you to say to support who you think wins. So it's awkward because if you definitively lose, I mean, sometimes people lose and they don't really try. But like if you
Yeah.
tried really hard and you lose, or if it's a good fight, that's fine. But there is occasionally like one that feels bad. And
Yeah.
that happened. And I'm sure you're a Crashing fan. There's an episode of Crashing that is incredibly similar, and I feel bad. I like right before I went into production, I was like, I need to rewatch to make sure they're not that similar. And they were even more similar than I thought.
Oh wow.
Because
Well,
there's like a
what
scene at
can
the
you do?
beginning. I was like, I should just rewrite this whole thing like 2 days before production. And then I was like, nah, I made it this far. But
Yeah.
the episode of Crashing is a good companion piece because that one's about a relationship. And
Hmm.
this one's about roasting someone that you don't know and saying mean things about them
Hmm.
that are sort of off limits.
Yeah.
And you didn't really know that because you never really corresponded. So there's that. And I don't know. I am pretty happy with it because I do feel like Letterboxd did a thing of like all the best stand-up movies. And
Hmm.
as we were talking about, I think Man on the Moon is kind of the bar, even if it's not really a
I think it's
perfect
not
representation.
of stand up. Yeah, sure.
But it does kind of has the romance of
Hmm.
like performing,
Yeah.
like the addiction and the loneliness and the validation and like the
Hmm.
obsession with coming up with something new, like he does with wrestling in the third
Hmm.
act. But a lot of the others, like there's occasionally a decent one. I think Funny People is better than people say, and I think Don't Think Twice is exceptional.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are just okay. Like Jojo Dancer, Your Life is Calling is one of the best movies I've ever seen, and also one of the worst. Like, there's scenes that are really, really good, and there's scenes that are like Richard Pryor being so preachy, like about his life, and I'm like, no. And then like Obvious Child is like sort of about stand up, and but not really, and you could tell it's someone that didn't do stand up made
Yeah.
that. I gotta say, the Rachel Sennett movie that she
I haven't seen it.
released a year or two ago about I Used to Be Funny is what the movie's called. And I did stand up with Rachel back in the day, and so cool to see her
Yeah.
ascend so
Yeah.
rapidly. Well deserved. But that movie is actually a pretty accurate depiction of stand up as well.
Awesome.
But Hacks,
Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah.
kind of tapped out after 3 seasons.
I haven't caught up. I'm behind. It's hard to keep up with
There's a
stuff.
lot of television.
Like I haven't seen all of
Really.
Andor. I haven't seen all of The Bear. I haven't seen all of Hacks.
It's okay, man.
It's
You got
just.
plenty of time. By the time everything gets to AI, it'll be a relief that you can watch stuff from back in the day. You'll be like, oh, I've been hoarding Andor for years. I can finally see the
I
show.
can finally watch something good and not this
Yes,
slop.
exactly.
Well, you've got some familiar faces in Just Jokes. You got Mary Houlihan, you got Dan Yang, and yourself.
I'm in the movie for like a
You
split
one
second. You,
second,
you
yeah,
can't even see my face.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
I yeah. There's like I just knew it was you. There's I was like that's Matt.
that
There
me.
he is.
That's the back of my head. But Joey Rinaldi, the lead,
Yeah,
was
Joey
also a stand-up.
Rinaldi.
It was
Yeah,
important to me to only cast
only cast
people that
stand
were
up.
stand-up vets.
Yeah.
Except Georgie. Georgie Exenoid is not a stand-up. She's an actress.
Hmm.
And I felt bad. I didn't cast my wife as the lead because she's not a stand-up.
And you
I think she could
also
have played the
have a
part.
character making fun of Do you want someone who's gonna roast your wife like that?
That, and then also I didn't want her to be out super late. Like I
Oh
thought
yeah,
that would
yeah,
have been messed up.
yeah, yeah.
So I gave her a ton of reasons. I felt bad about it, but I was like, trust me, you don't want to play this part. And I think she was actually better because she's such a supportive person. Like she is her parents' biggest fan. Her parents have a podcast. I'll plug it. It's called Watching from Home. She
Okay.
listens to every episode. I listen to every episode. She's her sister's biggest fan. She's just like so thoughtful and she gives everyone notes on everything and she would come to a show. So full disclosure, my wife plays the woman that is Mary's best friend, the Mary character's best
Uh-huh.
friend. And she's cheering for her and screaming
Yeah,
about how
yeah.
much she's like, you're the best. And there's like a 27-minute cut with a lot more of that. But I was like, we need to cut that down.
Yeah.
Either way,
She's the one
that
who's like, "Why would you touch her?" To yeah,
my
to
daughter
leave.
starts chanting that. There's a line where someone says, "Why'd you touch her?" And then the whole crowd goes, "Why'd you touch her?" So my
Yeah.
daughter, who's 3, chants, "Why'd you touch her?"
Oh my gosh.
We're like, please don't say that at preschool.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, it's super fun. Do you have a release date on that yet?
I'm just gonna wait for festivals because I do
Cool.
have these other 3 shorts that I've made over the past 3 years, and
Hmm.
I'm gonna try and keep up this cadence. I have another short that I want to film in October about going to Blockbuster when I was 11 and switching tapes so I could watch a movie that I actually wanted to see without my parents knowing. Then I have a movie about a dad that gets stuck in a slide at a kid's play place
Oh
and has to have
wow.
the jaws of life take him out.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, I just want to make one of these shorts a year and then I write a feature a year and then I put the feature on my podcast, which is called Unmade Dream Projects.
That's
And I would love to make all those movies, but I don't think I'm ever making a Don Rickles biopic. So
yeah.
that would be the dream. But I was like, Jason Alexander would be perfect,
Oh wow.
or Galifianakis. I think
Yeah.
he would be so fun as Rickles. But I wrote the movie. Will it exist? I don't know. His daughter also has a podcast about his life, but I don't know. I just like making stuff, man. I don't even care if anyone likes it anymore at this point. It's just fun to do it,
Great.
and that's where I'm at. Yeah, great is a lot of the response to what I make. Great. Oh, cool. You
That
sound
is not how I
insane.
meant it. No, it's
I'm totally messing with you,
I
Jason.
totally are, but I know you are. But it is a lot. It's it's the work. It's the part that people don't realize is like really the fun part.
Yeah. I mean, the producing part is a nightmare because
Yeah.
I'm too embarrassed to ask people to produce. So that part is kind of difficult, like
Hmm.
wrangling everyone and making sure there's
Hmm.
food on set and, praying to God that you're doing these night shoots and A, it's not noisy, B, it doesn't rain, C, it's not too cold. Like all these crazy things that could
All
happen.
the stuff you got to worry about when you're just trying to film it, and then all the like fires you have to put out. Like that's not the fun part. The
Dude,
fun part is like writing
the
it and
writing, yeah.
performing it.
The
Like
honestly, the table reads are the most fun part.
exactly, yeah.
And then the
Table
actors,
reads
you
can be
see
super
them,
fun.
you see the words come to life, and you're like, oh, that's not funny, but the way they said that was way funnier. So I'm just gonna rewrite it right now. To your point, though, I wasn't. Were you a film student, or what did you study?
I was a mass comm major and a theater minor, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Were you on any like student productions as a theater student,
I was
like
an
films?
RA, and so I just didn't. I did an improv show once, but otherwise I
Mm,
didn't have time to do the rehearsals and the shows. So I
gotcha.
couldn't audition for them. There was like one thing that my buddies wrote that I auditioned for, and they were like, "Yeah, we couldn't, like, we really wanted to work with you, but your schedule was so out of
Oh
whack."
no.
Because I was an RA, I was in a fraternity, so they were just like
Right.
events so much of the
Sure.
time, and having to work in the building so much of the time that I wasn't really gonna have time away to go do the rehearsals and the shows.
I had way less of a life than you, so I was on all the sets.
I wish I
But
had done something because I would have been if I had got cast in one thing, I would have been a double major. That was like
Facts.
that
Yeah.
many credits, that few credits away from being a double major
Oh
of
man,
theater
so
and
close.
communication. Yeah.
Imagine where you'd be right now, man.
I know I'd be in the exact same spot, but I could just say I was a
I was a
double
double
major.
major.
That's
Yes.
the only difference.
I got two absolutely crazy. I don't know. Is there a limit to how long this pod should go? Should
Well,
I stop?
you could say one thing, then we'll create something together.
All right. So, two insane film school stories, real quick, both on thesis projects. One was my friend Sean and another friend of ours, Andy, who's an incredibly talented director of photography,
Hmm.
was setting up a light at Sean, the director's dad's office, who
Uh-huh.
generously let us film there for a weekend. This absurd horror film that is really great called A Tragic Tale of Flies and Men. It's so good. Anyway, Andy, the director of photography, he is setting up this light and he hits the ceiling. And not only does the fire alarm go off because the light is on,
Yeah.
the the fire alarm goes off and the sprinklers
Yeah.
start
The
sprinkling all
heat.
over the office. And because the sprinklers had never gone off in this building's existence,
Oh, it was a drudgy,
it was
gross water.
all mold, like
Oh.
a everywhere. And the shoot was ruined. And we had the fire department came, and while we were waiting for them to show, because they were not quick, I was like, let's get brooms. And there were no brooms to start getting the water out. So someone went to a nearby barber shop and got brooms. And then there was hair everywhere on the floor. It also, in retrospect, so nice of that barber shop to lend their brooms. I never thought of that part of the story until right now. But that's not even the craziest story. So that was my friend Sean's movie. That was
Oh,
fantastic.
jeez.
My friend Chris made a feature out in, I want to say, Strawberry, Arizona, which is where everyone filmed their movies. It's this remote town in northern Arizona that I didn't know existed, but essentially looks like The Revenant. Like you're in the forest and it's a timeless place. And there's cabins nearby, so we'd all stay in this huge cabin, like the whole crew, and then we'd film 20 hours a day,
Hmm.
like to get all of the footage in like 3 days. So Chris's movie is almost done.
Hmm.
It's the last day, but Chris's movie is a violent 19th century Western. So we had a guy with squibs, which is like he would do like exploding blood packs,
Hmm.
hired, but he didn't show. He was not on set. He sent his son in his place, and his son showed up wearing a shirt that said, "I shaved my balls for this?" question mark. And he set us behind 2 hours
Oh,
because
wow.
we were, you know, desperate to film this like climactic scene with this shootout. And then we're on the last shot of the day, magic hour. The actor needs to leave, the lead, because he needs to get back to the city. It's like Sunday. He has a real job. He has a real life. He's basically just helping a kid out. He's like a guy our age who's
Hmm.
just doing this like 22-year-old a favor. And he's like, dude, I can't stay. I have to go. And he's like, Chris is like pleading with him. He's like, please, just one more shot, one more shot. He says, okay, one more shot. But his throat is dry. He's like, I need a water. He said, I need water. And then someone yells, water. And our PA, one of my good friends, Barry Rubin, who is now, he cuts like the political attack heads against certain parties. I'll leave it up up to interpretation in case he hears this. Anyhow, Barry says, I got it. And he runs to get this guy a water bottle and trips and impales his hand on a log, and the log goes straight through his hand, and he screams, "Ah!" And he starts crying and he looks at me and says, am I a wimp, bro? And I said, no, no. And he ends up going to the ER, and obviously we have to shoot the next day.
Oh, dang.
But that was the craziest thing that ever happened on a film set. And I still can't believe that happened. That was wild. And one of those guys just won an Oscar. Yeah. David Breschel, I forget if he was on that set, but he produced The Singers, which was tied for best live action short. He was
Yes.
on stage at the Oscars. He didn't direct, but he produced. And then my professor was an executive producer on that movie as well. So
Wow.
that was ASU Film, man. That was a trip.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was something else.
Well, let's create something together.
Yeah.
I don't know. Based on, I guess like an idea for a short film or
Let's create something you want to do, man. You're so
um,
altruistic. Let's do something for you for once. I've been talking about me. Come on. What's something you want to create? Let's talk you through.
Well, as someone who listens to the podcast and takes
Yeah.
in the newsletter, what would you want to see for the 10-year anniversary live podcast episode?
It's a great question, Jason. I want to see your 3 favorite guests. I'd want to see you perform,
Mm.
and I'd want to see you be interviewed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And also, I'd want there to be food there, but that's just me being selfish.
Well, it'll be at Young Ethel's.
Oh, okay. Great venue.
I'll see if I can get my favorites on, and I will. Well, when we do a panel, maybe maybe some of them will interview me.
Yeah.
Because
I
we
think
have the episode where my brother, I guess that was the 400th episode, and
Okay.
Justina also kind of interviewed me, I guess, in another episode.
Okay.
So now, like, for the 500th, Rob wants to be the one to interview me for the 500th episode.
Hell yeah. As he should.
Yeah, for the 10-year. Yeah, this is okay. That's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get. I'll email them as soon as we get off this call, and I'll see if they'll do the episode.
Be generous to yourself. You don't have to do it right away. You can chill, man. It's all good.
There it is. Thanks for being on the podcast, Matt.
Anytime. Thank you so much for having me, Jason. Keep it crispy.
Really fun chat. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll have to have him back to nerd out on like a movie bracket or something. Check out his newsletter, Matt Levy's Comedy Stray Notes, on Substack. We have a link to that in the bio. Be on the lookout for his latest short film, Just Jokes. Follow his YouTube channel at MattLevy51 and follow him on Instagram at Matterday_night_Levy. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at There It Is Pod, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at There It Is, and follow me on Instagram and Threads at JasonFarPix. Also subscribe to our comedy lifestyle newsletter and support us if you can. We have a Patreon and a PayPal. Go to thereitispod.com for newsletter and support info. Links in bio. Until next time, be good to each other. It's a moral imperative.
The music for the theme song was created by Neil Brooks. The rap was written and performed by Nick Acevedo. The logo for There It Is was created by Jeff Prater. The There It Is podcast is produced by Jason Farr.